Good evening. My name is Ramith, and today I will be talking to you about a book that I read very recently, The Hungry Tide. This book is written by Mr. Amitav Ghosh, who is a famous Indian author. Before we get into the actual book, I would like to share some information about the author of the book, Mr. Amitav Ghosh. Mr. Amitav Ghosh is an Indian author who was born in Calcutta in the year 1956. He has spent his life in India, Sri Lanka, and Bangladesh. Across his lifetime, he has written more than 35 books, which have then been translated into 30 or more languages. He has won several awards in his lifetime, including the prestigious Padma Shri Award, the Gyanpith Award, and 2 Lifetime Achievement Awards. He was the first Indian author to be awarded with the Gyanpith Award, which is the highest literary award for an author in India. Apart from this, he has several other awards and citations that has been received across his career. I had read somewhere that Mr. Amitav Ghosh likes stories which are placed between 3 major regions: the Indian Ocean, the Bay of Bengal, and the Arabian Sea. The book that I will be talking about today, The Hungry Tide, is also set in the Bay of Bengal. Mr. Amitav Ghosh has this peculiar style of writing where he transports the reader to the world that he creates. He has got several books that he has written, including The Glass Palace, The Shadow Lines, The Hungry Tide, and the Ibis Trilogy. The Ibis Trilogy speaks majorly about the opium trade, which was run by the East India Company between India and China. Now, let's return to our book, The Hungry Tide. This book is set in the Sundarbans. Sundarbans is a junction of 3 major rivers: Ganga, Brahmaputra, and the Meghna River. It is always said that Sundarbans is an unrelenting place, and it is not easy for a human being to survive in the Sundarbans. But what we see in The Hunger Tide is Mr. Amitav Ghosh is able to transport us magically to that world with every page that we read. The author managed to capture the terror that a person would see when he comes in close contact with a Royal Bengal tiger, and at the same time he also manages to capture the interpersonal relationship between the 3 main characters in his storyline. Now let's understand the 3 main characters in this book. The main character, P.R. Leroy, is an Indo-American marine biologist. The second character is Kanai Dutt, who by profession is a linguist and an interpreter. The final character is a poor uneducated fisherman, Fokir. Apart from this, the author also takes us back and gives us a background to this complete story by involving the family of the main characters. You have Mr. and Mrs. Bose, who are the uncle and aunt of Kanai Dutt. You also have Kusum, Tutul, and Moina, who represent the family of Fokir, the fisherman. Now let's get back to the story. The story starts with Miss P.R. Leroy, who is waiting at a South Central station on her way to Canning. She is in India to research more about a rare species of dolphin, the Irrawaddy dolphins. Mr. Kanai Dutt, who is an interpreter by profession, is also waiting at the same station. He is on his way to Lusibari to read notes that has been left to him by his late uncle, Mr. Nirmal Bose. On the first sight, the moment he sees P.R. Leroy at the station, he is intrigued by her because P.R. Lee, being an Indo-American, is very different from the usual crowd that comes to that particular station. He wants to know more about her. Kanai's wish to know more about P.R. Lee is granted when the author brings them in the same train, and as fate would have it, they end up meeting each other and get connected to each other as part of the storyline. They exchange their stories and move away from each other when their journey ends. Little do they know that they will be again connected together by fate. The story then shows us how P.R. Lee goes about her mission. What she does is she first gets in touch with a forest guard to see if they can help her navigate the treacherous Sundarbans. And that is where she connects with Fokir and her son Tutul in a rather unexpected, or you can say comical way, wherein she ends up falling into the sea and Fokir is the one who saves her and gets her onto his boat. After this incident, the author has given us some beautiful 2 to 3 pages wherein you find the interpersonal relationship that develops between Tutul, Fokir, and Pia. The author shows us that to understand each other, we don't need language, we only need humanity. Now let's understand about Fokir. Fokir is a fisherman by nature. He is not educated at all, but he values relationships. He values his family. And most of all, he knows the entire Sundarbans like the back of his hands. He knows where you can find animals, where you can find dolphins, as well as the place where should you be aware of, because there are crocodiles and the Royal Bengal tiger that roams in that area. Apart from this, the book also talks about the Morijabi massacre. This event is considered as one of the worst incidents of human rights violation in the country post-independence. The storyline merges between their life and the Morijabi massacre. Will Pia find her Irrawaddy dolphins? Will Kanai redeem himself? And what happens to Tutul and Fokir? And how the story connects them in the backdrop of Sundarbans is what this book is all about. I would love to give you more information about the storyline, but that would be unfair on my part because I would be taking the experience away from you of reading this book, The Hungry Tide. I had done this book reading as part of Nanma Kasaragod's initiative, The Reading Week. I would also request you to pick up a book this week and try and take out some time from your mobiles and tablets and give some time to a hard book that you can feel in your hand and get transported into the magical world that the authors prepare for us. Thank you.